My name is Nancy Gentry, and I am the author of Rebel in Petticoats, The World of Ivy, The Secret and the Sunday Rose, and my newest book, The Little Blue, Little Gray. By profession, I am really a teacher. I have been teaching for 31 years. My focus on reading, and I teach children who have dyslexia or learning disabilities that cause reading to be difficult. I focus on teaching them how to read. This is a historical fiction written for young children. Now, the goal in writing this book was to teach young readers, probably 5th grade through high school, about the Civil War through a story that they would enjoy. You know, I have learned that kids like history, as long as it's not facts and dates and memorizing things. But if it is a story, they really get into history. A lot of people say, you know, are you a researcher or historian? I am still just a teacher, but I've spent probably 15 years immersed in reading about the Civil War, and I feel like it is such an important event that happened in our country that I wanted to pass it along. And I thought through my story, which is filled with a lot of dates and facts and people, but as well as learning about the Civil War, they would enjoy my story as well. And so I think that I met that goal. My biggest surprise is that I think adults have really gotten into this book as much as children have. Well, it's about the Franklin family. The heroine is a young girl who is 10 years old at the beginning of the Civil War in 1861. This takes you all the way through the lives of this family. They live in Mississippi, and we go all the way through 1865, a little beyond, as we see how the lives of the people who actually lived in the South, the battles were fought in their backyards, on their land, in their fields. Also how the father and the son go off to war, and the story will take you through the Battle of Shiloh, basically step by step as the son and the father lived that. So you kind of get a little feel. I call it, that's the appeal to my boy readers, because it's got the guns and the smoke and all those good things that really they tend to like. It's not just about a little girl, but I think the main point is that how drastically the lives of the people in the South were changed during this. So like I say, it's got a lot of facts and a lot of people. Hopefully maybe they will read about one of these generals and all, and then want to read a little bit more. That's sort of my goal, is to open that door and spark an interest in the Civil War. Little Blue, Little Gray is back to the Civil War. I still have not, although I took a little break from it, I have not, my interest in it has not waned at all. Totally inspired by the little boys that I teach. I now teach in an all-boys school, and as I watch them, the things they like to read, they love to read about young boy heroes, they love to read about war, they love to read, they do love history if it's in a good story. So they inspired me to start reading about young boys in the Civil War. And in my reading and my somewhat research, I discovered that there was a little boy in the Union. His name is John Clem. He is a real boy, probably the most famous little drummer boy of the Civil War. And then I discovered a little Confederate soldier who was also, he's not so famous. His name is Charlie Hay. And they were both at the Battle of Chickamauga, and that happened in 1863. So my mind just went around, played around with this, and in my imagination I let the two little boys meet. That would never happen in a real battle, but I did them individually, and then I let them meet. And then I used a real incident at the end where John Clem plays a little childlike trick not to be recaptured by the rebels. So that is an actual true story. See, a lot of the stories that I read that are true are amazing to me, and I think, this needs to be passed along to younger ones that know that these things happened, and they really did happen. So I put together the little story about a little rebel boy and a little Yankee boy, and not that they were ever friends, but how they do meet and understand each other. I think that's probably the point.